Hello, welcome to this your channel of the better Eurofan, that's me. Normally the Scandinavian nations are big competitors in the contest, but especially in these last few years the focus has been on Finland, and that is because it is becoming a really strong rival in the competition, very comparable to the neighbors Sweden and Norway. A last proof of that was the participation of the mythical band Rasmus in last year's contest, in which despite only achieving the 21st place, it was one of the most acclaimed proposals of the edition. Now we will see who will be the artist that will wave the Finnish flag this time on Liverpool. Here we go. For today's episode, I'm going to review the Finnish entry for Eurovision 2023, which will be represented by rapper and singer Käärijä with the song Cha Cha Cha. First, we are going to take a look to his biography and career before landing on British soil. Jere Pohjonen, mostly well known as Käärijä, is a Finnish rapper, singer and songwriter, coming from the city of Vantaa, which belongs to the greater Helsinki. He will discover his passion for music when learning to play drums in elementary school, but when he started high school, his interest will turn to rap, in which he particularly noticed on himself he was skilled for freestyle during his English classes. All this will influence his determination to produce his own music at the age of 21. But what does the name of Käärijä come from? He has commented himself that the stage name comes from an old joke with his friends about gambling, an expression in Finnish which would literally translate as the rapper. Then you must wonder, what does he mean with the rapper? This is a particular argot from poker, and more specifically with the Omaha variety, which is quite popular in some European countries. Making a summary of this, it is about a strategy of counting on which cards will need a player to make the best hand with a straight, taking into account the whole cards and the community cards. It is called a wrapper because these counted cards will wrap the player's cards. I guess that people that is mastered on poker will know much deeper about this strategy. However, he also clarifies that the character behind his stage name does not come with the intention of inciting people to gamble, but the opposite, making a criticism about the bad habits that some people could develop with the compulsive and impulsive gambling, with the aim of helping people by making rational decisions. Artistically speaking, he is particularly known for his unabashed and unpredictable character, who loves to break boundaries, follow his own beat and explore new things. So much so that he hates to be confined to a specific musical genre, and the proof of that is that he likes to combine rap, heavy metal and electronic music in his musical compositions, written in his native language, Finnish. His songs talk about everyday things, like the passage from youth to adulthood or the desire to party. And if it was not enough, talking about his live performances, he takes his songs to a completely different and new dimension. His transgressive performances are also part of his identity as an artist. During the beginning of his musical career in 2014, he was producing and self-promoting his own songs, until he signs a record deal with a local Finnish record label 3 years later. In 2018, he would release his first EP, and after the acquisition of the record label for a much bigger one, he will release his debut studio album in 2020. In the other hand, Käärijä has been a Eurovision fan since he was a kid, watching the contest year after year, but a specific performance would suppose a turning point for him. I'm talking about the Eurovision classic track Dancing Lasha Tumbai, performed by Berka Serdushka, who represented Ukraine at the edition casually held in Helsinki, Finland in 2007. He was so impacted by the performance that he started to consider participating on the national final Uuden musiikin kilpailu since then, but until last year when Cha 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 came along, he finally took the decision of taking part in the competition. Inside of him, he had the feeling that the time was right and that he could not pass up such opportunity to at least take a chance. Now we will see in detail what happened next. As usual, the Finnish Brewery broadcaster will organize another edition of the currently acclaimed national final Uuden musiikin kilpailu on its 12th edition. For this time, the broadcaster opened a very short submission period on early September of last year for Finnish artists and songwriters who wanted to send their proposals. The truth is that the open call was quite successful, as they have received 363 proposals in 5 days according to the broadcaster, which gives a clear idea of the success and the effect it's having the national final on the Finnish musical scene. Then later, a 9-member expert panel would review carefully these entries to select the 7 artists that will compete in the national final, which were announced in early January, and being Käärijä among them. Shortly after the announcement, each artist with its entry have been revealed day by day. Käärijä was in this case the 5th artist to be featured, and after the release of this song, it went viral in the musical charts of the country, becoming one of the big favorites to win the national final. During the televised show broadcasted in late last February, the winner will be determined with the combination of the votes of the international jury with a weight of 25% and the public with the remaining 75%. Once all the artists have performed their proposals, the voting results were undeniable. Käärijä got almost 53% of the votes, being the absolute favorite from both the international jury and the public. The initial predictions were then fulfilled, and what a way! With Käärijä winning the national final with an extremely wide margin, and thus the right of representing Finland on the main stage of Liverpool. Absolutely transgressive and particularly unique. Now here comes the analysis according to what he has presented in his proposal. Melodically speaking, it is hard to define this song, because as it blends rap, heavy metal, electronic music and pop, you cannot enclose it in any of these genres. In this case, the song is divided in 2 parts. A first declaimed part with a base of heavy metal and electronic music, and a second sang part with a base of heavy metal and electropop. The first declaimed part is very energetic and audacious, while the second sung part is more melodic and cheerful. About Käärijä's voice, he has a quite acceptable performance, both in the declaimed part and the sang part, even without having 2 extraordinary vocal skills. But it fits perfectly in all this blend of musical genres he usually does. The lyrics in this case are written in Finnish, coming back since the last time the language was heard in 2015. About the contents of the lyrics, initially you would think it is about a song referencing to the Cuban dance of the same name, but actually it is defined as a hymn for the wild artists. Following that same idea, Käärijä has said that the song represents many of the things that are associated with his country nowadays. Finland is a party country, a heavy metal country, and a pop country, and this song brings all of those together. Reading the lyrics in detail, previously translated of course, it tells the story of any person which ends a hard-working week, thinking only about hanging out to relieve stress and have a good time. I'm going to make reference once again to the 2 parts of the melody, as they have a strong relationship with the lyrics. In the claim part, the verses talk about the fact that having finished the work for the week, only being interested in having some cocktails to unfrozen its outer shell and maybe go to the dance floor. Anyone can truly feel identified with this common situation, especially if the current job is not too motivating. Who have not felt at the end of the week an absolute boredom, trying to do something to make you feel good? It is absolutely normal, because in the end we try to keep a balance. The chorus in this first part talk about having drinks like there's no tomorrow, getting drunk to get rid of all the worries. Personally, I will not recommend to get drunk, as our liver suffers a lot, and the consequences in the heart are not especially desirable. You can drink but with responsibility and good judgment. Getting back to the topic a drunkenness. The turning point happens between the declaim part and the sing part of the song. The effects of the alcohol have come to the point that a different side of the personality is shown, with a more relaxed and wild attitude, which in fact is perfectly illustrated with a melody change. The chorus in this second part talk about feeling fearless and worryless, giving it all to the dance floor, while the song's bridge and outro describe how the senses are starting to fail. Absolutely logical if you're quite drunk, remarking that it does not behave like that normally, but right now is that person that wants to have fun and make the most of it. I will say in this case that the song does not have a specific message, but it reflects different emotional states, which are very common in our daily life. Through that duality in our personality when we are sober and when we are drunk. So true as life itself. Having reviewed the song, now I'm going to analyze the official music video release for this proposal. All the setting in the music video is the battle in a ring, where there is Käärijä, a max fighter, and a referee. In the beginning, Käärijä is sitting on a bench in his corner, while the fighter is telling things to him, like he is cheering him up and giving him advices for the fight. Then Käärijä starts to perform the first verse, in which you can see in more detail the outfit he is wearing. That is a sort of fluorescent green crop top with buffed sleeves, also with spiked rings in the neck and the cuffs of the top, and leather pants of the same color with black and yellow shapes, while he is doing gestures that can be interpreted as morbid. By the chorus of the first part, the referee appears telling Käärijä to get in position to start the round. The referee gives the signal, and he gets in guard to fight with someone or something that must be invisible because it is not seen anywhere, and often receiving punches in the face without being able to reply. Analyzing the contest in this point, you realize that it's about the fight we have against the difficulties of daily life, which often are giving us serious punches, but still holding on. The dynamics remain mostly the same, with alternate shots of Käärijä walking by all the ring, occasionally with blinking green spotlights, while his moves are quite energetic, in line with the intensity of the song in the chorus of the first part. In the transition from the first declaim part to the second sang part, Käärijä receives a brutal punch that leaves him knocked out, but this does not end there, because the invisible opponent takes him from the ankle, spinning him in the air, and throwing him against the ropes of the ring. You will think he's receiving a full beating, but these are actually how are the onslaughts in life. In the bridge, shots are seen with the other personality of Käärijä, wearing a light blue jacket, light blue pants, and a long blonde wig. His attitude changes in the ring, as he looks like he became a martial artist by the moves he is doing. Analyzing the context once again in this point, it's about those moments in which you are under the influence of the alcohol, and that part of our personality comes out, which is regularly not seen in our daily life. Towards the chorus of the second part, there are different shots of Käärijä dancing and moving around like feeling dizzy, like anyone who suddenly feels brave and goes to give it all on the dance floor, especially if you've had some drinks already. You do not feel ashamed, and you don't care about what people could think. Moments later, Käärijä gets off on one of the corners of the ring, with the intention of doing a wrestle move, specifically the diving elbow drop, in which a fighter throws down itself from a corner, or a rope with the elbow raised up, to hit the opponent on the neck, the shoulder, or the head. Towards the end of the music video, his dance is still energetic, until it's seen that his other personality finally won against his invisible opponent, with the referee declaring him as the winner of the fight, and the max fighter joining him on his victory. Then the performance finishes with a close-up of Käärijä, making the same morbid gestures. Making a summary of all the comments, the Finnish entry for this year is just brilliant and magnificent. It's not only an original proposal, but an authentic and surprising one. I think it has a lot of assets, not only to conquer the audience, but also to achieve the second victory for the Scandinavian country. recalling the staging in the national final. I was curious on what he will do on the stage, taking into account he has developed his career as a live artist. The performance starts with Käärijä being in a sort of ring made with wooden pallets, expected in a certain way. Like in the music video, he walks around the ring while he performs the first verse, and often doing the morbid gestures. The outfit he is wearing is almost similar, keeping the iconic fluorescent green crop top, but changing his pants for a black one with many spikes at the sides. As suddenly in the chorus of the first part, happens something really impactful. Two pairs of dancers wearing hot pink slim outfits appear from nowhere, starting to perform a cha-cha-cha choreography with the rhythm of the music and being tied to hot pink ribbons at first. What the hell? I have to say that I was absolutely amazed. I could not help being open-mouthed with what I was watching. In the second verse, while Käärijä is still declaiming, the dancers are doing energetic moves, accompanied with some gloomy gestures. This is something in which we can identify ourselves very clearly, attaching it with the verses. These are those stability feelings, pretending everything is going well, but in the very deep we feel upset and sick of the difficulties of the work routine. Later you can see the dancers performing a choreography, blending cha-cha-cha with casino salsa inside the ring, while Käärijä is still declaiming the chorus of the first part, without forgetting the morbid gestures, making a contrast with the energetic dynamic of the dancers that keeps your attention all the time. For the transition to the declaim part to the sing part, the dancers open the ring and Käärijä gets on the front of the stage, doing a simple and funny dance, while he performs the chorus of the second part. Then during the bridge, sparkles and seeing the visual graphics. All the dancers are getting together in crawling position on the floor, like imitating a horse, and when Käärijä rides them by the back of one of the dancers, they crawl together for a few seconds, and later take it out to keep performing the energetic routine around him. The four dancers leave him of the air as the life of the body, and he is indeed, and they perform the chorus of the second part, in which everyone is doing the same simple and funny dance, featuring green spotlights and blinking green backgrounds casually following the cha-cha-cha rhythm. The performance finishes with the dancers shaking their heads, like in a moment of ecstasy on the dance floor, and Käärijä throwing punches in the air following the cha-cha-cha rhythm, to finally then looking knockout in one of the corners of the ring. It must be said, this was a performance totally out of the box. It is true that Käärijä takes the songs to another level when he performs them live, combining several elements which may seem incompatible between them, but that really work perfectly. Personally, I was stunned during all the performance and even I had goosebumps. I can say that this is probably the best performance I have ever seen in many years. Talking about the staging on Liverpool, for sure he will replicate the same one he has done in the national final. Maybe a few adjustments could be made, but in general terms this proposal is quite polished and well done. Although there is the possibility he could give us another surprise, who knows? There is a lot of expectation on how this proposal will be presented when he takes the turn to be on stage, and I can't wait to see it. And you, what do you think about the Finnish entry for this year? Let me know your comments down below and then we can make more discussion. And this is it for today's episode. If you have come to the end of this video, take a few moments to like, and also you can subscribe, enable notifications for the upcoming reviews, and follow me through my social media. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.